Xtakeover, another panel is coming through. This one is about camping. And we've got a special treat because the Cyber Trailer, the founder of the Cyber Trailer is here, Matthew Hofmann, the founder of Living Vehicle. And they have a really cool towable RV setup that you can check out over there in the booth. And I love camping in my Tesla. It's one of the most underrated features that I wasn't expecting when I bought it, but it's super cool with camp mode. So I'm personally super fired up for this session. So with that, let's get a warm welcome for Matthew Hofmann and Trusted Marena for this session. Woo!
Thanks, Gally.
All right, I'll let you guys take it away.
All right, thank you so much. All right, I'm back. So for those who may not be aware, I'm the Chief Product Officer for the Tesla owners Silicon Valley, do content, video reviews and such. So I'm really excited to be interviewing Matt here from Living Vehicle. And one of the things I do want to let everybody know is if you have questions, we're going to try to reserve the last 5 minutes or so for audience questions. So as we go through topics here, if you have a question, just think about it, remember it, and we'll get you at the end. So thanks for being part of the great Xtakeover, and welcome to the event, Matt. Why don't you start off with a little history? I mean, this is, you make an amazing RV camper, if you will, and for those who haven't seen it, you guys have a great display over there. Why don't you give us a little background on the history of the company and kind of how it started and such, and where it is?
Yeah, thanks, Ted. It's great to be here. Thanks, Xtakeover, Silicon Valley Owners Club. I'd actually like to thank everyone for bringing me back to San Luis Obispo. I'm quite familiar with this town. This is my alma mater. I went to college at Cal Poly. So it's good to be back. Go Mustangs. Let's see. I went there for architecture, but that's not really where I wanted to become an architect. I knew since I was 6 years old that that's what I wanted to do. When my dad built me a one-room treehouse, and for the next 6 years, I proceeded to improve that and turn it into a bit of a Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. So I can say from the very beginning, I've always wanted to be a creator. From there, got a job as an architect, and what I thought was going to be a career in architecture really took a divergent path, where I moved into a travel trailer, quit my job, realized that I didn't want a desk job, and so kind of fell backwards into designing vehicles for mobile living. For the next 10 years, I designed over 400 vehicles, custom interiors. I had a specialty upfitting company down in Santa Barbara, California, and that really gave me the experience that led to the birth of what's now Living Vehicle. I've lived in mobile spaces for the better part of my life, and I've had a firsthand experience myself and designing for others, marketing vessels, travel vehicles, and improving on other products. But the term recreational vehicle, by definition, it's built for travel, built for recreating. And what I learned firsthand over many years is that you're really going to compromise on so many levels when you're in an RV. Whether that's quality or the way it's designed, the way you use it. Everything that we do now is built from experience and lessons from doing, by getting out there. And again, that's the alma mater, the motto of Cal Poly, learn by doing. And so this is really a kind of a slow evolution that has brought me over 2 decades now to design what we are releasing here at this show called the Cyber Trailer. And it is an electric travel trailer built specifically to be paired with all types of EVs and designed and influenced by the Cybertruck.
Oh, nice. That's amazing. So we'll circle back on that. But why don't you give us a little overview on the current Living Vehicle, and what are your favorite features of it? And I mean, I definitely encourage everybody to go over there and walk through it, but why don't you give us kind of an overview, because this isn't just kind of a regular RV. You guys have put a tremendous amount of technology and thought into this vehicle.
So when you say my favorite feature of Living Vehicle, whether it's the new Cyber Trailer or what you see over there, we brought one of our products. This is a legacy product. That's not the Cyber Trailer. We have a banner right behind the Cybertruck. That is the CT model. That's just being released. My favorite feature of everything that we sell is the off-grid performance. So what we create is to be net zero, powered by the sun, powered by alternative systems, so that you do not need to be plugged in. In fact, the Cybertrailer in and of itself is a mobile charging station. So with redundant technology, where you have multiple power generation systems, you're able to not only charge the trailer off-grid, but to charge the very vehicle that's towing it. And I'm happy to go into more detail as we continue to talk.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds amazing. I mean, I have seen the product up close, but you know, it's amazing that you have like the integrated battery, the solar panels, and kind of a lot of creature comforts that you wouldn't necessarily expect. So I think that it's really a, I don't know if luxury is the right word, but it's a very impressive vehicle.
Yeah, luxury is something that's defined our company from the very beginning. You know, if you're going to choose a space for full-time or extended living and travel, you want something that's nice. And just because it's small doesn't mean you can't live in a very high-end way. To have all the systems and creature comforts that you're accustomed to, washer dryers, dishwashers, you know, mini split air conditioning. The quality is probably the thing that's foremost. That's in all my travels, whenever I would, you know, I lived in white box travel trailers for many years, and I was constantly dealing with problems. I'd have slide outs that wouldn't go out, and I was stuck in Bend, Oregon for a couple months because I couldn't get service. You know, so quality is something, it's not just luxury for luxury's sake. So we've taken a lot of influence from the marine industry. I lived in a boat for several years in the harbor, you know, a small boat, but still. Wasn't able to stand up in it, so I kind of developed some neck issues. And that's just one of the examples of what it means to design a space that is built for full-time living.
Oh, I think having that perspective, Mac, is just really amazing because, you know, you're living, right, and taking your experiences and incorporating it into the design. So with the current vehicle or even the cyber trailer, who's the target audience? Who are the typical customers?
Yeah, so we offer a couple of different product lines. We offer the traditional, what we have there is the HD series, heavy duty. It's built like a tank. It's no secret, it weighs a metric ton. You need a big truck to tow it. That's not what you're gonna be towing with a Cybertruck. So that is built for semi-permanent use, more like a tiny home. So if you've got some land, an ADU, stuff like that, you've got a ranch out in the middle of Montana, put that thing off. You don't need power. You don't need water. I'll talk more about that in a second. But it's built to stay off-grid and live in full-time. Now, Cybertrailer is our soiree into a different market, which is travel-centric. So if you're going to be spending a little bit less time living at one place, more time on the road, more time towing the unit, you're going to have to optimize for a different set of features. And that's what this Cybertrailer is all about, is maximizing range, playing nice with the reality, the elephant in the room, that electric vehicles don't tow very well. So we really have an uphill battle that's through a lot of different integrated systems to make sure that we can overcome that and offer a great solution.
Yeah, so Matt, let's get into the cyber trailer a little bit. I want you to sort of spell out what are some of the differences between the vehicle that's here and what people can expect in the cyber trailer. So why don't we start with that, and then I have like a follow-on question.
So what you see there, the HD series, kind of looks like a toaster, flat wall, front, not very aerodynamic, not built for towing all over the place, right? So you're gonna take that with a big truck, you're gonna deploy it, put it on some land, and live in it for a while. Cyber trailer's different. Cyber trailer, we take aerodynamics first. So you'll see the design is heavily influenced by the angular nature of the Cybertruck. From an aerodynamic perspective, we've done a ton of work with aerodynamic performance, making sure that it's as streamlined as possible. So when you're towing with an electric vehicle especially, now, Cybertrailer isn't just for electric vehicles. You can tow it with a gas vehicle as well, but you're going to get great performance. Now, beyond aerodynamics, we've got this problem called range. So you hook up to an electric truck, and what is it going to cut your range down by a half? So we've got a problem. Now, how do we solve that? We do, beyond aerodynamics, powered axles. You know, this is something you've seen other companies coming out with. This is going to become industry standard. As we venture towards electric tow vehicles, you're going to have to engage the product that you're towing to assist with that. So powered axles can reduce the range, even give you a net zero loss of range so that you can maximize the range in that vehicle itself.
Right. So the axle is actually powered. So you'll have a battery in that unit with a motor that'll help assist for the towing.
You got it. Now, so not only assist. Now, another big problem, if you're only going to assist, think about it. You've got a battery in the trailer, you got a battery in the truck. If you're assisting, where's that power going? So you get to your destination, now you're empty. Okay, how are you going to get home? So if it's a purely electric trailer, you're going to have a problem because now you get out to, 100 miles away from the nearest charging station, and now you use up your power to get there, you're done.
And you're stuck.
So Cyber Trailer is an all-electric trailer with redundant systems. So we're a bit of a multi-source hybrid approach to where we have power generation on board. So the trailer itself becomes a multi-source mobile charging station. So when you get off grid, you're out in nature, that becomes your power source. So it's pulling power from a lot of different sources. So instead of just having solar on the roof, which the whole roof is solar, we've got solar awnings that fold up from the sides. They track the sun. So maximize the natural resources that you have available. Now, in addition to that, we have power generation. So it's not always sunny and 75. Well, here in California lately, it seems to be. But when it's not, you have cloud cover. You can turn on electric power generation, charge not only the trailer itself, but also the truck, so you can get back to where you're going.
So it's got like a generator.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so that allows you to, as you say, you can, as long as you can get to where you're going, and if you have power from the generator, that plus the solar will help recharge the batteries and allow you to get to your next spot.
Exactly. Right. So when you're off grid, you're not only reliant on electrical systems, because you can't very well plug into a tree.
Yeah, fair enough. And so there's a lot of interesting aerodynamic discussion. You sort of hit on this with the Cybertruck, where the bed cover allows the air to go kind of up and down. So do you have any further sort of comment or design points to make in terms of like how you took that into account from the aerodynamics?
I mean, the Cyber Trailer, take a look at it. It's basically an oversized Cybertruck. So we have the air broken by the trailer, and then the air broken by the truck, and right behind it on the downsloping where the tonneau cover is on the truck, that becomes what's effectively a circulation space of air that rotates around and then creates a bubble of negative pressure to push air over, and that's what we explored in all these aerodynamic studies. And so if you look at the trailing edge of the Cyber Trailer, you have fins, which create, you've ever seen a semi-truck where you have on the back, they put those little plastic things on there, which creates a slipstream to let the air fall off as you're going down the road. Now, mind you, these are not designed to go 100 miles an hour. So when you analyze drag coefficients, in California, the speed limit for travel trailers is 55 miles an hour. So we're not designing rocket ships here. We're designing something that's living in the real world to make sure that we perform given the real world circumstances.
No, that makes sense. I think that it's great that you've incorporated the design idea, because I think it's a huge concern that people have for towing anything. So that's first and foremost, and it sounds like you've made it a major priority. So can you share a little bit? Let's get back to the company. So how long have you guys been around? And, I think sometimes there's concern of, okay, if I buy it, am I going to be supported, et cetera? So maybe just share a little more information on the company and the organization.
Sure. We are not a startup. We've been in business for 8 years now. We've got hundreds of those larger trailers on the road. We are a well-run organization that puts quality first. And I'm happy to say that the quality of these trailers is unsurpassed. I encourage everyone to go take a look at the trailer. The quality of what we're producing is phenomenal. And so these vehicles have already been on the road. I'm seeing some other startups on the road where it's a little questionable. And so we've got units that are just all over the place, and we're very happy. This is just another model for us. So we're releasing the Cyber Trailer because this is where the future is going, and I want to be a part of it. We've got, let's see. Great entrepreneurs that I'm sure everyone here is familiar with. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. They did not invent the automobile. They did not invent the computer. They took some existing product and made it better. And that's always been our vision here, is to take something from a industry that's really been around for about 80 years, and we haven't seen a lot of change. And so my goal is to take what exists and to continue to improve and bring it into this century.
And so, Matt, with that, what is the approximate schedule? Obviously, the existing vehicles folks can buy today, but what's the schedule? When would the Cyber trailer be available in the market?
We're just releasing the Cyber trailer now. We're taking reservations. We have planned production in 2025, so we're ramping up. And of course, you can get the current model now. It goes into production, custom order it. But this is our first and foremost priority right now, is to develop and bring to market the Cyber trailer.
Okay, great. And so another question I had is just on the existing owners. Do you have a story or a couple of stories that you'd want to share about how people are using the living vehicle, and or anything anything that's kind of interesting that the folks may be interested in?
That's one of my favorite parts about running a company that is fundamentally a family company. We have very close relationships with every one of our owners, and I know all them personally. The stories are phenomenal, and they're all unique as their own personalities. We design a product that's built to live and work in, to live your best life, to encourage whatever it is that you do. I could start with, being that we're kind of the Silicon Valley Owners Club. What first comes to mind is one of the owners that has a vineyard up in Napa. They were not able to build on their property from entitlements, and being an architect, I understand the reality when it goes to that. They were able to put a trailer, but they weren't able to have connections. They weren't able to have utilities. And so by taking a vehicle that fundamentally does not need to be plugged in, does not need a water connection, they were able to have a space that they could go and appreciate their vineyard, and do so in a very nice way, a very light, earth-friendly way, where they don't have to connect and build a foundation.
Yeah, so can you expand on that? Because you made a comment earlier about how you don't need a water connection and such. So maybe you could just address that point a little further.
So the water connection is pretty great, what we've done. It's called water generation. So in with power generation, solar panels, we're all familiar with that. Water generation is called water gen, or atmospheric water generation, where you extract humidity out of the air. It's basically a glorified air conditioner. Have you ever seen an air conditioner with water dripping down? Saying, oh, well, that's a great resource. It's a very efficient air conditioner that creates water. Now, it's basically distilled water, so you lose all the minerals from that. So you have to remineralize the water. Yep. You also have to go through a multi-stage water filtration and sterilization system, because our air isn't necessarily the cleanest, depending on where you travel. And so that, down to 20% relative humidity, which, we're talking Joshua Tree, you can create up to 9 gallons of water every single day, effectively converting solar energy into water. So my goal for LV has always been to create a net zero product, not just from an energy production standpoint, but who here has ever traveled to an RV park or a campground? How great are those? I want to get off grid. I was born in Mammoth Lakes. That's my hometown. And I love the outdoors. I don't want to go to an RV park on my vacation and plug in and deal with that sewer connection or deal with connecting that water hose. It's not a great experience. But in the US, we have a tremendous national resource, national parks, Bureau of Land Management. We've got a lot of land out there that I love traveling to. And I love taking and still taking my home with me and still being a part of society and living in a very elevated way. And if you work remotely or you travel in a way where your job allows you to work wherever you are, slap Starlink on top of there. Starlink comes standard on every Cyber trailer. So you're running still connected to your job, your technology, whatever it is that you need to do wherever you go. So that's my vision for travel trailers of the future.
Oh, man, that's awesome. So we have a few minutes. I'm going to see if there's any audience questions. So does anyone have a question? Like, raise your hand, and I'll come circle by. Because I think that, we often have different inputs from what I was thinking.
Yeah, thanks. I'm Ryan. I'm from Canada. I'm absolutely stoked about this product.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi, Matt. We're live on X right now. I'm going to go and check out your trailer and post a video to the space here. I have a question from the audience, and that is, what is the weight of the trailer?
So the trailer weight is important. So weight is going to be sub 9,000 pounds. That's the max it's ever going to weigh. That's not base weight. Carrying capacity is important. So we want to make sure that we give you a lot of space to take your stuff with you. So we're going to have a base weight that's well below that. Final specs are to be determined, but I want to make sure that when you're traveling, you can take things with you wherever you go.
Okay, next question over here.
And the other thing that's important about that, we got to stay under 10,000 pounds because if you go over that, you need a special license to tow. So we want to make sure this is open to everyone to tow that vehicle.
Okay, 2 questions. If it were rated as a vehicle in and of itself, is there an equivalent MPG on it, and what would the miles be if it were driven by itself? And the second question is, how is it tested in crosswinds?
So miles per gallon is interesting because the trailer is effectively a net zero. You're never going to run it in an isolated environment because you always have to have something in front of it. It's not its own vehicle. Now, of course, you can, with your iPad, this will be all controlled with Apple products. You can take your iPad or your iPhone with a proprietary app and you can move the thing around, connect it to your truck. But that doesn't mean it's going to create a net burden on the vehicle itself. So miles per gallon, when you put that calculation, it's the miles per gallon of whatever's towing it without the trailer. And that's our goal. Now, I'm not going to mislead. There will be some loss. It's not going to be perfect. It'll get better with time. But that is the goal of the cyber trailer. Can you repeat the second question?
Crosswinds.
Crosswinds. So crosswinds, by crosswinds, you want to make sure the aerodynamics of that are, you'll look at the top. So when crosswinds, when you analyze that, you have wind that goes over, and you want to make sure you have that angle, which is really nice because it plays really nicely in with the cyber trailer. As that wind goes over, you have that little tiny surface there. And that allows for wind to go over. And then when you get that top down, as much as you can, so we have the bathroom in the front. We're releasing a floor plan there that you can take a look at. No one's ever seen that. The bathroom's in the front, and that gets the ceiling down as much as possible. And in front of that's our utility space. Because we have to stand up in the thing. So we're doing the best we absolutely can when it comes to crosswinds. Now, that's not the most important thing. Most important thing is towability, travel. It's much better when it comes to performance with crosswinds compared to white box travel trailers, for example. So we want to take what already exists and make it better. Is it going to be perfect? No. But it's going to perform much better than other stuff that you see on the market.
Okay. All right. Question?
Yeah, I walked through your trailer and I think it's very nice. What are you going to do with your cyber trailer in order to reduce that weight? As far as materials that you're using, are you using a lesser material?
Absolutely not. So his question's all about weight. What are we doing differently? So you'll see in the trailer we have now, it's all aluminum cabinets. The whole thing is built from aluminum, and there's a little bit of steel in there at high stress points. Now, to reduce weight, we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to look at the structural system. We need to look at the walls. So by having walls, sandwich construction with closed cell foam in between, aluminum on both sides, so we're reanalyzing the structural system using lightweight materials like honeycomb inside of cabinets, surfaced with aluminum. So we're taking all these things, and every system that we put into it, we analyze and make sure that we're designing the lightest weight product possible. So it's a holistic approach. There's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to weight. So you really have to look at everything across the board. It's really a sieve that all design decisions must pass through.
Okay, next question.
And what about water waste? bathroom waste, is that going to be the same as just other?
Excellent question.
Thank you.
Water isn't just about water production. Water, we have to look at water from a waste management solution as well. To conserve water, we have to make sure that we recycle water. The shower is going to offer water recycling. Not just recycling water itself, we'll be able to recycle about 85 to 95% of the water. Not just recycling water, but recycling heat. So if you have less heat that you have to generate through water heaters, you can take that and reduce the load on the system itself. Now let's go to waste. Waste itself, we have two things. We have gray water, we have black water. So by reducing the load on the gray water system, we're minimizing gray water. For black water, we have alternative solutions like incineration, toilet incineration. So you see other solutions like compost toilets that I'm not a big fan of. I've used it. I'm not releasing details on this. We're going to get to that. But there are going to be systems that manage waste so we can minimize that as much as possible and create, let me say, semi-pleasant experience when it comes to managing your waste.
Okay, last question, unless this is quick.
Sure.
Yeah, how do you charge the trailer? Are you going to be able to do that at a supercharger? Do you have a NACS connection?
Supercharger, if you need to, you can absolutely charge the trailer at a supercharger. You know, the infrastructure's not there yet. Can you imagine backing a trailer into a Tesla charging station? We'll get there when it comes to that. But the trailer itself is designed to be powered off grid. So wherever you travel, you have solar panels that are powering the system wherever you go. And then you're going to be able to charge the truck from the trailer. I mean, effectively think of it as a level 2 charger. So when you get to your destination, plug the truck in at night. But they both offer power. So you can charge the truck from the trailer from the truck. And then when the system evolves where you have semi-trucks, semi-truck, they'll make it out there where we'll start seeing the Tesla Semi. We'll have infrastructure that allows this type of vehicle for charging. We're just not there yet, right? We got to develop the infrastructure, and that's the elephant in the room. The charging infrastructure is just not there.
Yeah, but there are some pull-through charging stations now.
Yep.
So those would work.
Yep, exactly. We're
Okay.
starting to see that.
And then we have time for one more. Is there someone
Okay.
else want? Okay, hold on.
Kind of a little bit different bent, but what would the possible rules be on parking one of these on your property in town, not getting off grid, but not necessarily requiring all the permitting to build a home and to live in a home?
Something I'm very familiar with, being a recovering architect. We're talking about ADUs, accessory dwelling units. Jurisdictions all across America are starting to open this up, allow tiny homes, allow other sources of alternative construction with wheels as an ADU. Of course, we all know, or we may not, California's mandated residential lots are required to have an ADU. This can qualify as an ADU. So as we continue to march down the train where the housing crisis is being alleviated through solutions like this, it's also my vision that you can use this in a very high-end way as an ADU in town, not just off-grid.
Oh, that's excellent. All right. Well, thanks, Matt. So we just have a minute left here. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you want to share, or that you think that the folks should know? Other than, of course, please go over and check out their tent. It's a really impressive vehicle, and see some of the preview on the Cyber Trailer.
I'm pretty accessible. If anyone wants to come talk to me, I'm happy to. I'll be over at the booth for the rest of the day and tomorrow. So I encourage you, talk to my great team. They're here supporting Living Vehicle. They'll share with you the vision. Walk through the unit itself, understand our history. We've been around for 8 years. We got that product here today to show what we've done, where we've been, what we're producing now. We are not a startup. We're releasing a new model. And so I'm happy to release the Cyber Trailer, and we will be releasing new images. This is a teaser phase of the announcement, so we don't have a lot of information out there. We're releasing this in stages. We will be releasing a keynote later this year. And so please follow along, sign up. If you want to place an order, this is the Tesla style. Put $100 down, get on the list. Totally refundable.
Matt, thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause, and please go check out his vehicle.